Hello, everyone. This is Tracy from Inspired Chi, and I am bringing you your May messages. So, I'm recording this on April 30th, and technically it's not May, but energetically, this is important to know. There is a new moon solar eclipse in Taurus. So, happy birthday to all my Tauruses, first of all. Nice earthy energy coming in there. It's not just a bit fixed and stubborn at times. That might come up during Mercury Retrograde, which is my next point. So we are going to go retrograde May 10th until June 2nd. And I know everybody freaks out during that time. But I don't want to blame everything that's happening in May on a retrograde because we actually have 2 eclipses this month. So it is meant to be a catalyst of change. So if you have been wanting a change and trying to manifest it, this is going to be a really lucky month for you. So, keep your thoughts positive. The universe likes action. Start showing the universe your intentions and see what help you can get from your guides and what kind of synchronicities. As far as the Mercury retrograde goes, a lot of times things come back into your life that weren't finished before. And it's a great time to heal old wounds before moving on and to continue any shadow work that maybe you started and thought you were finished and then you found yourself having to relearn lessons or having people come back into your life and situations come back in your life that you thought you were completely done with. So it will be a good time for healing there. I like that the solar eclipse happening today is on a new moon because it gives it such a burst of positive energy and it really packs a punch for positive change. So as we move into the middle of the month, we're going to start to see things shift and get a little bit deeper because on May 16th, we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And Scorpios are very psychic energies to begin with, okay? And then we put a full moon into that, add the eclipse, and it's going to be really important that you're tuned into your intuition. And then you're not confusing it with any anxiety from these other energies happening, like the eclipses and the moons and the Mercury retrograde. So if you find yourself being completely frazzled and trying to make decisions, that would be your first hint from your body to go within, do something for yourself to bring yourself into a more meditative state. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean sitting quietly in a room listening to the music I have in the background. I'm talking about whatever that means to you. If that's going to get a pedicure, if that's cleaning your room, if that's going for a jog at Tyler State Park or wherever is close to you to do that sort of thing. Whatever is going to put you into a zone and calm your energy so that when you go to reflect from within, you know that you're being guided by your guides and intuition and not making decisions and, that are fear-based and based on anxiety. Because like I said, there is a lot of mixed energies this month and they're all going to work in different ways for different people. If you are the type of person that's really stubborn and don't want change in your life, it might just come up and kick you in the butt and surprise you. So we will see what your cards say as well as that. But just be on alert for that and understand that sometimes any energy that's stagnant isn't doing you any favors, okay? You're going to continue to learn the same lessons and you're going to get to a point where you're not happy in your life and you're feeling resentful. So do your best to welcome the changes that come this month and understand that it's going to be putting you into a better position for as we move towards the summer solstice, which reminds me, so tomorrow is May 1st, and that is Beltane. I believe I'm saying that correctly. If not, please do correct me in the comments. And it is the middle point between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So we are halfway there. So align yourself with your goals. If you have some fitness goals or, vacation goals or whatever it is that you want to get ready for this summer, this is a great month to start those manifestations, okay? And to really go within and see what's serving you and what's not serving you. Because there's going to be a beautiful energy coming in to help you move things along at a greater pace, okay? So if you're an extremely impatient person like I am, this will be a great month for you to shift everything, okay? Some of you may look back on this month and know that this was a big game changer as far as what you're trying to manifest. If some of you are going for new jobs, new relationships, that sort of thing. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Happy to have you here. What you're going to do is you're going to choose one of these 3 piles here, 1, 2, or 3. Wherever you feel connected, that will be the tarot deck that I'm using in your cards, as well as the chakra oracle deck. We're going to pull some energies from that. The mystical shaman oracle deck, and I'm actually going to read from the book on that one because they have such great messages, and I feel like it's important with all these energies. And yes, twice in a row I'm using this deck because it's beautiful and I love it, and I'm just really meshing with it, and I feel like these two energies are really good together. So if you are returning, you know what to do, and thank you for your continued support. I love being able to reach out to you guys and, you know, completely nerd out on all these astrological energies and different things like that to people that can appreciate them and apply them to their life and their manifestation and their soul growth. So thank you for that. And if you want to book a personal reading, head over to www.inspiredchiradio.com, send me an email, and we will get something on the schedule. Okay, twos. There's a lot to unpack here, and I know that I started the intro with all of the energies and planets that are happening this month. Like I said, May is going to be a game changer for so many of us. And it will just depend if you could do your work, right? I mean, if you've been a client of mine and had readings before, or, you've done any spiritual or self work, which majority of the people that listen to this stuff have, you will know that your shadow work is very important to moving forward in your manifestations. If we don't know what we can change or fix or improve upon in ourselves, and we don't do that work, we do not get the most out of what we have in our lives. We don't get all the blessings. We don't get all the joy. We may get it intermittently, but if we stay in denial about our strengths, because that's what it is, all of the things that trigger us, all of the pain that we've gone through, a lot of times have built our strengths, and a lot of times are directly related to your purpose. Okay? So people who refuse to do that, people that don't look at it, people that poo-poo on therapy and that sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, you have to do what's comfortable for you. But sometimes if you don't have that relationship that can help you in mirroring, and I don't just mean a romantic relationship, all of our relationships are mirrors. And if we can't be honest about ourselves with the things that need to be changed and the things that are good as well, then we won't be able to be living our life to its highest potential. That's the first part, okay? And it just looks like what's coming back for the twos during Mercury retrograde as an opportunity for healing is looking at, this feels very much to me like a family dynamic, okay? So energetically, we're looking at two behaviors, okay? These cards come up for me for different reasons in readings, okay? This one comes up to me comes out for me when someone has a skewed relationship with their father or father figure, okay? This is usually when somebody is an absent father. They've either been around intermittently, not at all, that sort of things. And there's some wounds there for healing. This could be in your own life, and now you're, passing those wounds on or trying to fill those empty spaces. Or, this could be if you're a mother. This could be, a relationship affecting your child, okay? If you have a child who has an absent father, whether through abandonment or death. Normally, this is through abandonment. It rarely is in death. However, take it as it resonates for you personally if your message is here, okay? This can also be a father figure who is absent because they work a lot, okay? So the next card here is the Workaholic card. And it's so this is in your solar plexus, affecting your intuition and your confidence and motivation. This is sitting in your third eye, which talks about your, intuition, past lives, that sort of thing. But also your, what's the word? Not mental energies. Psyche, absolutely psyche. But also different, diagnoses, not ailments. All right, I'm going to just say this here because for me personally, how this resonates is a workaholic father, okay, who has now created a workaholic daughter, okay? Just a for instance here. And the thing about that is it was definitely a coping mechanism. You might be seeing patterns now as an adult that in your childhood didn't make a lot of sense, but as you find yourself, avoiding the landmines of repeating those mistakes or finding some ways that you were affected that not necessarily you're blaming on your childhood or your parents, right? Because they're people too, and they were here in souls on this earth, and they've made mistakes and they have their own karma and that sort of thing. But if you're recognizing repeating patterns as to how or why, okay, people with ADHD have a tendency to throw themselves into work, okay? You don't have to have ADHD to be a workaholic, okay? I'm just giving you an example. And it's a coping mechanism directly. I recognize that from patterns in my father's life. My father, who was never diagnosed in this lifetime, and I can recognize a lot of patterns that, affected him in his life that come up in my life. And I really try and do that shadow work, but the patterns that you unconsciously take over, okay, that you at some point in time thought were good habits, and they are, right? You want to be a good worker, you want to be dependable, you want to be ambitious, but sometimes it is to the excludement of everything else, okay? And sometimes it's because work is easier than dealing with personal relationships, especially if you are a person who, works on their own and doesn't have to deal with a lot of people. It's kind of like you might throw yourself into work. I know a lot of times when people go through breakups, what they do is they cut their hair and they throw themselves into work for a while. And sometimes that's what you're supposed to do, right? But sometimes it becomes that habit that we don't know how to break those cycles, okay? And then we end up doing the same thing. So that's the energy coming across here for me. Again, take it how it resonates for you. Ooh. Sacrifice. And I'm going to read, like I said, this is this book for the Mystical Shaman Oracle that I am going to read because of the way that it is described, as far as like the issue, the medicine, that sort of thing. So I'm going to come back to that before we get into your tarot. But that is such a heavy energy. Before we get into the rest of it, I do want to say that you do have this beautiful, beautiful card here, the Miracle card from the Magdalene deck, okay? So really expect miracles. Do that shadow work, continue to build that confidence, recognize things, break patterns, break barriers. That's what you're here to do, right? So we'll get back to that. But let's look at what might be holding you back here, and that is the sacrifice. Like I said, it may not resonate for you completely. You could be married to this workaholic, okay? And these are not things that are meant to be, not bashing people's experiences as far as this energy, right? So for my daughter, this may resonate to someone who is not there. So it resonates for you completely differently, and it will affect you completely differently. If by the end of this reading nothing resonated, I would check out the other ones, because this is a very specific energy and this is a very specific healing, okay? So the essence, to sacrifice means to make sacred. Sacrifice in it is an offering of gratitude made from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetables and fruits. In Middle America, however, the Lord of the Dawn came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and prayers to the blood of humans or animals, okay? The invitation. The sacrifice asks you to offer spirit, which is most precious to you. Your offering will be sanctified and returned tenfold. You will be elevated to the altar to which you have been praying and meet the divine at the table with the heavenly feast. You're a welcome guest in this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering you can bring. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. The medicine. What is the one person or thing that you feel you cannot live without? It is time to offer it all to spirit so that it may unfold as well. Do not cling to the old form or allow your sacrifice to weigh heavily upon you. You have sacrificed yourself in your dreams for too long. Now is the time to rededicate yourself to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to infinite wealth. Do not delay. Public service announcement, please do not sacrifice anything in the name of anything. If it is a human, animal, or that sort of thing. I'm talking about intentions. I'm talking about old belief systems to move forward. I just felt the need to say that because you never know. Okay. So energy coming in, you're coming in with a really good offer, okay? You may be the one offering it, you may be the one accepting it, okay? But you have a really beautiful offer coming in to make some changes in your life, okay? This energy might be coming in at the beginning of May. It may have already come in and you're like debating it. We have the Nine of Wands, but in reverse, okay? So this is about perseverance. However, because it is in reverse, you can expect, like I said, things to move in May, okay? We've been kind of stuck in April to kind of just trying to get our balance in, figure out what's what. And like I said, May's going to move pretty quickly. So if you've tried to manifest something, you better be ready for it, okay? You better be ready. So the Magician is coming in here as being in your power, okay? Being able to manifest greatly. So keep your thoughts positive. Keep what you want to do positive. And just know that as you continue to break those cycles, recognize the things in yourself that need to be healed. Take advantage of that Mercury retrograde instead of being so afraid of it. Because I always say, you know, a lot of times that what comes up in Mercury retrograde is something we haven't been dealing with. If you've had a check battery light on for 3 months, don't be mad that your car's in the mechanic during Mercury retrograde, and don't blame Mercury retrograde, okay? Should have took your car in because you knew you had the light on for 3 months. Make sense? All right, but you have this energy here to be able to manifest cups and wands and pentacles, okay? So now is a time that you can create a new life for yourself, a new energy for yourself, and you have this miracle cards here, okay? So you have sacrificed, you have done some things, and you're going to be rewarded, okay? You have the Ten of Cups, some of you may, and you have it in reverse, okay? Some of you may be dealing with divorce. Again, we're talking about wounds here coming in, so you could be dealing with the divorce of your parents, okay? A split from a partnership in work. This is something that would be it would be a painful ending for you, as far as, you know, it wouldn't just be someone you hung out with or worked with for like a little while. This would be, you know, at least 3 to 5 years that you're dedicated with somebody, and now that has shifted. But it's going to give you a sense of personal freedom to move forward on to the next thing for yourself, okay? This looks like you just really weren't in your power in that relationship or that career, you know, whatever it is that you're shifting out of and moving out of, that you found those unhealthy habits. Sometimes we're just learning those things about us, and putting ourselves in those situations are going to bring those things to light so that we can heal them. We don't even always know that they're there, okay? We don't even realize that we're doing things. But when we do realize it, it then becomes our personal responsibility to, at least little by little, day by day, try and shift and change that into a better space, okay? Temperance, different than balance, okay? Temperance talks about accepting the parts of yourself that are not so warm and fuzzy. We can go all day. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's really hard if you've ever been on an interview or written a resume and someone's like, what are your strengths? Tell me some great things about yourself. That's hard for some people too, okay? But also when you say, like, you know, what are your weaknesses? What are some things that you have challenges with? You need to understand that about yourself so that you can work with it, okay? One of the things that I tell my daughter all the time is like, hey, you know I personally can't stick into something that I find extremely boring for an extended period of time. I have to like really do it in ways where I'm either setting timers for like little spurts, taking breaks in between, getting a favorite snack, whatever it is that I know that is going to motivate me to finish that. If you need those little tips and tricks, whatever it is, do it, okay? You're allowed to have help. But if you accept that about yourself and you know that about yourself, instead of just being surprised by the fact that you got bored and then just turned, like, you know, closed the book because you were out of your mind, how about finding ways to get things done in a better way, okay? Based on the things that you know about yourself happen to be your struggles, okay? This is about accepting both your light and your dark and being able to integrate both. One of the biggest things when it comes to our shadow work and our weaknesses and those types of things that we learn in our karma that we go over and over is, once we've done that work, so many people don't know about it. So many people might be having those same struggles. So you will have that empathy. You will be able to help. You will be able to impart that wisdom while also having, you know, things work out good in your life, okay? Because you're taking personal responsibility for the things that you can change in your life, okay? Some things you can't. But the things that you can, you should really try to help. And I don't mean I'm such a horrible person, I'm just going to like criticize myself all the time, because that's negative too. I'm talking about when you know you have things to work on, you know it would make your life better, do it. Okay? It's a great month to do it. You have a lot of help. You could probably get it done in a shorter amount of time than you would normally with all these eclipses. And lastly, the energy that I'm having here for you is the Four of Cups, but it's in reverse. And I love that for you, because the Four of Cups is just a feeling of apathy, just not being that interested in anything. You may be in a rut, okay? It may be your relationship, it may be your work, it may be your business, it might be your health habits. You know, any of those things. You just felt really stuck and just really not interested in moving forward. But that's going to change for you in May, all right? You have a major shakeup coming in. Expect miracles. Make those sacrifices early in the month, okay? Recognize the things that could be healed. And when it comes to these energetic, I guess, things have been passed on, or things that you're dealing with and why you're dealing with them, first look at all the good things that come from that, okay? The strengths, the abilities, okay, great. But what are some harmful things, okay, that maybe I can tweak and change that won't have this affect my life and the people around me so negatively? Or maybe how was I affected that, you know, maybe would have been a little bit different? Or how can I make things different for the next generation of people in my life? Okay? Good luck.